Tower God gang, sorry for the late release, but here we are with chapter 11 review for Urek's Ascent. Really solid chapter. We got some stuff to talk about, you already know. Hit that sub and we gonna jump right into it. So the chapter starts off with Urek exercising, running around the ship, and he stumbles across a blue-haired girl who we've seen in his fisherman class. She already seemed to be a little bit like plotty, like the kind of girl who like takes and uses guys to their advantage. So she gives him a drink and then says she likes guys that works out, and obviously, you know, we know Urek's character, he's gonna fall for it real quick. And then we see this like kind of creep looking dude who looks like he's like obsessed with her, but because of this guy creeping, we actually get the name of the blue-haired girl, unless I missed that or something, but her name's Aru. So moving on from there, Urek continues to exercise, and then we run into this penguin, and this is like one of the key charms of Tower of God, right? At least for me, I love seeing different creatures or different species, and now we have this penguin who is just like a regular too, but he's kind of like hanging out, and Urek's like tripping like, oh my god, it's a talking penguin. So, you know, I don't know if you put too much store to this, but when you see stuff like that, it's just like, okay, there must be penguins on the outside from where Urek came from, right? Because Urek came from Earth. So if he can recognize a penguin, and a talking penguin clearly ain't normal, you get where I'm getting at. But, you know, that's pretty cool. I love the reference to Urek. See who keeps doing that constantly. Yeah, they move on from him, and then Urek runs into the Pobidao kid. So the Pobidao kid is chilling reading manwha. Again, no surprise from Pobidao. Like, we know how they operate at this point, you know, especially if you're familiar with season 3. So, you know, him and Urek have an exchange where they talking about what he's reading, and not much going on. Cool interaction, I think. And then, you know, an announcement gets made for everybody to kind of, you know, make their way to Baskerville. So Baskerville goes into details about the next round and what's about to happen, in which he goes in and starts to talk about the crown game. What is the crown game? What are the details of the crown game? And then they get to see the actual arena for the crown game. It's a lot different from the crown game that we originally know, like the crown game, which is, you know, the unlocking doors and everybody competes in the middle. This crown game is more of a long lasting crown game where they're going to have to go find the crown and then bring it back to the seat. And so that creates like a bunch of different, you know, dynamics. Obviously, there are creatures in the area, which we know about the queen, and then the little dolphins, and there may be other things around, right? So while they're discussing all of this, the supervisors are in the room kind of discussing like the details of it. And forgive me, I forget all the supervisors' names. I just call them by their positions. So the scout one is worried about the actual game itself, if it's like a passable, because it could be close to the queen's territory, which we already know it is. And then the spear bearer one is just like, well, no, he wouldn't do that. Like, it's not like that. And then the lighthouse bearer is like, hey guys, it's actually like directly in her territory. And so I'm glad to know that like everybody's not completely on board with like Rahab's thing. Like, you know, when we saw that group in like chapter 2 or 3, that group that Rahab was kind of sitting with, I thought they were like all the supervisors there, but I guess that's not the case and should have been obvious, but y'all know me. But yeah, they're not all down with this. So with the crown game have been started, Rohan's team is kind of making their way, which is obviously Neo and Urek. And Rohan comes across, it looks like a guy he knows from his Spearbearer class, where it seems like they're okay, but the guy actually tried to sneak attack Rohan, and, you know, Urek and Neo cleaned it up real quick, got them up out of there, spared their lives. Then we move on to Team Lou and Evelyn, where they discuss their plan and what they plan to do, and they have this, you know, this new character introduced. His name is Sacho Grandpa. I ain't gonna lie, kind of reminds me of Herbert from Family Guy a little bit, but he's not that creepy. He just seems like he likes grandkids or younger people. It's kind of whatever with this character, but he's a scout as well, and, you know, their plan is basically to go find the crown but not actually bring it back to the seat, just hold on to it and hide, and then at the very last moment, you know, sit at the seat, which I guess is okay, but like, no, because somebody obviously can take it from you. So to me, at the very least, I think you should take it and go to the seat immediately. That way, if somebody does end up taking it from you, you got some time on the seat, because like time is what matters. Like time on the seat with the crown is what matters. And so Sacho Grandpa makes the suggestion that they should go find a lighthouse bearer to follow from another team, since they don't know exactly where to go. So they end up finding the Pobidao kid, who, to me, it was pretty obvious that he knew what was going on. He whispered in his teammates' ear. They kind of split off, and he's leading Evelyn to another area. Now, mind you, Lou's in the back holding his spear, and Sacho Grandpa took another path. But he leads Evelyn into this cave where we run into the bull. It's nice to see the bull again, from, you know, original season 1. See who really is taking us back to really the season 1 elements. Like, there's a lot of elements that just obviously we're familiar with, but the beef between Lobo P and Poe Beadow seems to be like there. Because it sounds like the Poe Beadow guy, like this beef was a little bit personal, the way he calls out Evelyn's last name. It seems like he was like personally trying to set her up. So, I mean, maybe it's not, but I think the beef may have already started here. So that's interesting. But he makes his way out and kind of leaves her trapped where she starts to panic and just like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm stuck here. I don't even know what that creature is. It's not the queen or any of the dolphins. And so she says like to Lou and Grandpa to help her. Like she's scared, she's fearful, she might die. And when she says this, it appears that the queen hears her. All the guesses that Evelyn might end up taming the queen is looking like we're going down that route, right? It's looking like the queen may be the one to come rescue her. But so in the midst of this, Urek's team with Neo and Rohan, they're discussing their tactics and what they plan to do. And since the beginning of the chapter, Urek has been ready to fight Danzon. He's been like getting pumped, and obviously that was what the exercise was for. And he's saying it's only gonna take 10 seconds. But Neo and Rohan, they're going to kind of be on their own, and they're going to basically guard the seat and wait for somebody to find the crown and bring it to them. And with that being said, Urek is going to make his way to Danzon to go meet him in that off space, and they're going to fight. Now, interestingly enough, at the last bit of the chapter, Rahab peeps what Danzon is doing. He says, hey, why is he in this area? This makes no sense. And we know that Urek's going to be there. So Rahab is going to get a front row seat to see what Urek's capable of. And that's going to be cool because maybe he'll actually recognize what Urek is if Urek decides to use his ability, or if Urek seems to like worked on his Shinsu off screen or something. That'll be cool to see. But yeah, pretty solid chapter. I think is a bit of a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Not perfect. Art wasn't necessarily great either. There are like a couple decent panels, but it's a setup chapter, so everything's pretty much going to go down next chapter. Gonna love it, can't wait for it. Do expect a stream tomorrow for Friday. I will be doing it in the morning, so be on the lookout for that. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys per usual. Do go check out the content and go share my content and sub. I got a lot of unsub people watching my content. Please hit the sub. Your boy trying to grow. Peace.